No,
All right.
it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Well, Willie, it's good to have you here on Creva Farm, so it is,
Thank you for the tour. And
because you did grow up on a farm.
did.
Yeah,
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago, but ventures brought you different ways, same as myself. But look at Willie, we've got to know each other in the last few months, and you are an EOS implementer. I'm a big fan of all things EOS worldwide. Yeah. And I suppose what has inspired me to make this video is I was at a conference 2 weeks ago in Australia, talking about large farms getting bigger, an organization getting bigger once you go over that 10 people, and the challenges they're having in terms of managing people. And I believe EOS Worldwide can be perfect for that. But my first question to you is, what is EOS Worldwide and why is Willie doing it?
EOS Worldwide EOS is built on the books and the model of Gino Wickman. It is to bring vision, traction and healthy to an organization. Vision so that everybody's operating on the same page, one vision. Traction, that how there is a meeting rhythm, there is accountability and everybody knows what they should be doing. And healthy being that everybody gets along and works together, because sometimes teams don't. And there's many reasons why companies would need EOS. It's what the business owner wants to get from the business. Mm-hmm. And some business owners want growth. Mm-hmm. Some of them at this moment only say, we need structure. Mm-hmm. I don't have structure in my business and I don't know how to do it. Other business owners are coming from the aspect of, I'm approaching the end of my career and I don't have a plan. I want to hand it over to my children and I do not want my business to fall apart by the time I'm at the gate.
Okay.
I want to prepare my business for sale and give the money to my kids.
Sure.
There's many reasons, and it's what the business owner wants themselves is the reason why they would take on EOS.
And EOS stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System. And the logic I was always told is no more than my iPhone here, there is an operating system to that, and you upload your own apps or your own processes, but that the fundamental, every business can have the same, right?
So, and exactly that. And EOS is not a software.
Correct.
It's a way of living. It's a way of running your business. It's a way of talking to people. It's a way of managing people. And a term that's often used is managing human energy. Because where that comes applicable is you can have, if you do not have a common vision in a business, well, therefore, everyone will come up with their own vision of where we're going.
Okay.
And you get a result of, well, we have 10 visions in the business.
Yeah.
We need one vision.
Yeah.
And that's where, and we're all heading this way. I did an example recently. I says, well, we're going to Europe. Oh, I thought we were going to the US. You're going, no, we're going to, well, somebody has to say where we're going and how we're going to get there. And EOS is beautiful and simple in that it works in a 90-day world. Here is the most important things that we have to do in the next 90 days to achieve our 1 year goals. Mm-hmm. And then our 3-year picture and our 1 year plan and 10-year target. And that is where EOS, it makes it simple. Now, it still is hard work because it takes a lot of work to run a business.
Yes.
But this makes it easier. So EOS is for any business, be it an accountant's business, a manufacturing business, a service business, be it a farm, be it a supplier, be it a service. It's across any.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because it's about people.
And big thing that resonated when I spoke, and I stood up there and I said, look, I'm not an authority on EOS. I says, I just like it. I think I read the first book maybe 8 years ago now. And honestly, we're only implementing it in our company now with yourself. We're only, I wouldn't say even 50% through the process. We're somewhere on this.
We've completed that.
We've completed here. This is actually the EOS process here in terms of implementing it in your company with an implementer like yourself. I was asked to speak on 2 things down in Australia, and it was involved with Eagle Director or partner down there, and also Australian Dairy, which is kind of like, Australian Dairy is kind of like our Chagas. It's kind of like for farmers. It's like our, it's all the farmers in Australia, how they're working with the government and all of that. So I was asked to speak on operational routines and also calf rearing. So on my operational routines presentation, I just talked about, one, about EOS worldwide as a structure for your business, and two, about using 7 stages of cow of maybe creating accountability within the business. Yes. Okay, accountability for the animals within your business. And honestly, about 10 farmers came up to me between the next 2 days about what is this and what is that, and I think what really resonated with people was replacing your org chart with an accountability chart, right? Massive. So what would you say about that then?
And that is a major thing within EOS, and it brings accountability, and it's specifically an accountability chart. Yes. That is very intentional in those words it has chosen. But it's also about, well, let's stay on that accountability chart. It's about defining what are the main functions that's required to run a business. Be that a farm or be that a manufacturing or a service business. What are the major functions required to run that business? And what's the 5 most important things that happens under each function?
Okay.
And we define that. So there's no names against any of these functions at the minute. And you define all your functions, you define the 5 most important things. And then above that, you have what's called the integrator. And the integrator often would be called the glue that keeps the business running.
Okay.
That's the person who is the glue. They're aware of what's going on. They're able to go, okay, well, we need to have a meeting to cover this thing. That's going good. I'll update this document, and they'll know you're on holidays next week. We need cover for that. That person is the integrator within the business. And then above that is what's called the visionary. Mm-hmm. And typically the visionary is the owner, right? And the visionary can be head of sales. The visionary can be the head of marketing or whatever. There's no problem in that. But the visionary, and this is where it's about humans, it's about energies, and we're all different. And some people are a visionary where they're coming up with 20 ideas a day, and we're going to do this, 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 and this, and this, and it's overwhelming to the team underneath.
Sure, of course, been there.
Exactly. And the integrator is the person that can translate that energy and going, that's 20 great ideas. Thank you, Noel, for giving me 20 great ideas. Unfortunately, 18 of them we cannot take in this quarter. We're going to save them for next quarter. But there's 2 there we're going to bring into this quarter, and we're going to work on them.
Yeah.
And that, because running your business in 90-day cycles, just because the visionary comes in and says, I have a new idea, let's do it tomorrow, then that upsets everybody else that's in the business, because they had a plan.
They were on a plan and they were on a track,
So it's about managing human energy. It's about giving the visionary, the owner of the business, typically, that they feel they can direct the business and run it, but that the owner actually gets traction out of his ideas or her ideas, right? So it's about having the right people in the right seats. And this is not about this is not about getting rid of people or anything like that. It's about using people to their best ability, that they come in and they do not feel frustrated in the task they have to do.
Sure.
So accountability chart, not an org chart.
So people can look at guidelines from EOS, free on YouTube. It's all there. You can read the books, Traction.
There's loads of books.
There's Rocket Fuel. I think they're all listed here. There's a whole load of books.
Traction is the main one.
You
like Traction. Let's call it the technical book.
Yeah.
If you would rather read a story of how EOS got implemented, Get a Grip. So it depends on what your style is.
I've never read Get a Grip.
Get a Grip is brilliant if you want to hear. It's set in an IT company and how they're struggling in their business, and they get introduced to an implementer like myself, and how that implementer brings them on the journey through this. But it's told in a story about Vic and Eileen, who run that business.
I didn't know
Very
that,
nice.
Because I actually read the books. I read Rocket Fuel first.
Yeah.
Which is the visionary integrator dynamic, creating Rocket Fuel.
Yeah.
And then you've got Traction, Yeah, and then you've got EOS Life and all that. But so people can get the free content, people can get the books, or they can hire someone like yourself, like what we're on now, right now in Creva, a free 90-minute meeting, or how does it go?
Yeah. So basically, a 90-minute meeting, and this is about two things. It's about us, about EOS, and about Willie in this case, or the implementer. It's about you. It's questions that we will put to: what's your revenue? What's your plan? How effective are your meetings at the moment? And then we go into a description about the tools that's used in EOS and the 6 key components.
Yeah.
And then the process. This is the process. Okay. So the 90-minute meeting is free, and that is exploratory. It's for the implementer to figure out, will they get on okay with the client, and will the client like this implementer? Because there's loads of other implementers out there, but there needs to be a click, right?
Yeah, there has to be a click.
If the decision is made that it's moving forward, you're then moving into the focus day. This is 7 hours plus or minus an hour. You're dealing with subjects hitting the ceiling, accountability chart, what is rocks, setting up a meeting pulse, and building your first scorecard. So that's very interesting. 30 days later.
And just on hitting the ceiling, right? And I'm going to completely relate this to farming. So I had a man come up to me and he says, Noel, he says, I think 6 years ago, he says, we were milking 150 cows. Yeah. We're now milking 3,000. That was the scale of growth in Australia. And if you can imagine, I mean, it depends on your farm. Do you have one person per every 100 cows, or do you have one per every 200? It depends on the system. Yeah. But he says, we've just hit this ceiling. He says, we're churning through staff. We've hit it. We can't, we got up to cow numbers really fast, but is that how you'd explain hitting the ceiling?
That's exactly it. And what I've used personally is where I talk to business owners and I say, how many hours are you doing a week? And, I'm doing 60 hours a week. Well, is that making a difference? And other people are going home, and I'm still there trying to do everything and pay tax on the car and so forth. And you're going, okay, so there's tasks that person is doing that needs to come away from the owner. There's what accountability is with certain people in the team. And it's how to bring in structure that will reduce the chaos. Because some businesses are just running in chaos. And if the business owner is not there for a week because they're on holidays somewhere, does the business stop?
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't, no.
Running a business is never easy, but it should be a bit of fun. And I've ran my own business. Like I'm not preaching here from a position of, I read the book and now I'm done. I ran my own business and I've lived this. So hitting the ceiling is real. You can be a farmer with 10 sites. You can be a manufacturing facility with 2 sites. You can be an accountant's with 3 offices. It is the same problem.
Anyone can hit the ceiling.
Anyone.
And then your vision building day, get into core values, core focus, all of this.
Exactly. So these are 30 days apart, and you really need to stick close to that because there's quite a bit of homework and energy going on here to get this built up. And then at the end of vision building day 2, it's 90 days into the next quarter.
Just keep, and you have, so with us, with Creva now, we're as far as here now.
Yeah, completed that.
And then we're going to go around and do this, and then we're going to see if we're going to work on with Willie then and keep coming back to get the system going, get the flow going.
Typically, this is a 2-year cycle.
2 years.
Typically.
To come in and implement it.
Yeah, that's a mental commitment that I will ask you of, right? It's not written or it's not a purchase order or anything like that. It's a mental commitment that this is a 2-year cycle to get the full benefits out of this. Businesses running on EOS have 35% more growth using an implementer than businesses who do not.
Okay.
That's incredible to me. 35% more growth.
35% more growth,
And that is sustained afterwards as well.
And that's exciting for you. Like, how many people did you employ in your day at your peak?
We went to 45 in our business.
45 people. And you've sold your company now, and you're loving all things EOS, and now you're helping other companies.
And that's, I honestly, I am living my purpose now. This is the thing that I loved in running my own business, and after we sold, in fixing problems, aligning businesses together. There was a lot of acquisitions done, and 4 businesses coming into one office, and 4 different ways of printing and 4 different ways of invoicing and bringing all that together.
Willie, we chatted about it earlier, but the accountability chart, and I'm going to give you my best spiel on this, and I'm going to put it into farming sense, right?
Yeah.
And you have your visionary, you have your integrator, you have the 5 key roles of those. That's not to say the only thing they do, but what are the 5 biggest things? Yeah. And in this company setup, there's marketing and sales, there's operations, there's finance. But if it was a large scale farm sort of things, it could be maybe finance and HR, it could be operations, it could be feeding, it could be young stock, it could be cows, or
that will be unique to the customer.
Unique to that customer.
Absolutely unique. This is just an example to talk across all businesses, whether you're an accountant or a manufacturer or a farmer.
And it keeps going down from here then, and maybe Sean will be able to get a picture show like where there's a really big chart. Doesn't matter how big your company gets. And I remember in the traction book, there's lovely pages where you might start off the company and you're on your own and you're doing everything. And then there's 2, and then there's 5, and then there's 15 and 20. But you just start dividing down the responsibilities.
And the visionary can be the head of marketing and sales. The visionary can be the head of operations. You can only have one name in a box.
Okay.
But 2 boxes can be the same person. So this can be Noel, and this is Noel. Okay? Yeah. But Noel can't be...
So I think what I said in Australia was, it's like the seats on the bus, right, isn't it? And everyone is on this bus going forward.
Yeah.
And imagine every seat is what you're accountable for.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
You can own 2 seats on the bus. You can put your fucking laptop bag on one side, whatever. Yeah. But you can't have 2 people on the one seat.
That's absolutely correct. Your analogy is perfect. This is typically the business owner. It's the person who's coming up with 20 ideas a day, can see where we're going, and we're going, lads, we're heading that way, and this is how we're going to get there. This is your integrator person in the company who translates the vision and is the person pulling the business together.
And like a lot of companies have it, managing director and operations. Yeah. Very straightforward, right? But this is just the terms they use and breaking up the responsibilities, And if, let's say, for example, this was calf rearing. Yeah. Right. And there's one person accountable for all calf rearing up to weaning. Okay, one person here. They could have multiple people down here feeding it better. Now, one of those people might go across over here to feeding and be working the feeder wagon, or could be working milking here. But when they're on this team, they feed up to the person accountable, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So they could have multiple seats.
So to just go to the roles and what's the most responsible thing. If you have people underneath you, it's important that you have LMA here, leadership, management and accountability. Okay? That you are a leader to the team underneath you. And that's critical because you have to guide them, you have to listen to their concerns, hear their ideas, and then feed those ideas up. And that's done in a weekly meeting. But
manage them. Are they doing their job? Are they getting it right? Do they have all the tools they need?
Exactly.
Be accountable for your own role and make sure the people below you are accountable for their roles.
Yeah. And then your second most important thing could be ensure all tasks are done for the week. What's the profitability of this site? You're looking after the fleet. This person's looking after the fleet, so they have to do all the tax, maintenance, insurance of vehicles and things like that. It's whatever you agree. It's actually whatever the leadership team. What does the leadership team define is the 5 most important things for that role?
So give us so what's the leadership team? It's however many divisions you have here. Plus the 2 above.
Plus the 2 above.
That's your leadership. You can have more people down here and down here. Yeah.
But your leadership team is the people who are making the decisions on how the business is run. And together, they define what's the 5 most important things in this function. What's 5 here and so forth.
But coming back to a farm, and I mean, I've had the pleasure of experience, working on my own farm here younger, doing a farm placement in Holland, visiting farms in America, all of that. And I've seen different ways of working. I've seen large scale corporate farms, if you want to call it, where you've got a major investor in a farm in the Middle East. And, maybe here the visionary is possibly the owner of the farm and where they want to see it going. The integrator could be an expat farm manager, bringing it all together. Yeah. But what I find an interesting dynamic, say down in Australia, New Zealand, a lot of these large, as they said themselves, corporate farms, it's a father and son, or it's a mother and daughter, or a father and daughter, or whatever, right? And I know when I was taking over the farm here, myself, my parents, right? I was probably trying to be a visionary for a while. Like my dad was the visionary, he created all this again. And then I had all these ideas, young buck after finishing college, and I wanted to do all this. And we clashed with things. We two visionaries, we clashed. And then I remember I could get to a place where maybe I had some ideas or something, I'd say it to him, and then I'd just, and wait. And a couple of months later, if he found it was right as the visionary. So I had a father and son come up to me after my presentation, like, oh my God, no, we have a name for it now. Dad is the visionary, I am the integrator. At some point, I'll be the visionary, and
that happens. But that manages expectations. Now they can define and say, well, the visionary's role is what? The visionary's role is big customer relationships, big supplier relationships, and ensure that the integrator has what the integrator needs to run operations. But then the integrator knows, well, I need to run the profit and loss for the whole business. I need to ensure we have the right staffing coming in, that the contractors are done, insurance is done and all of that. And that they both know their own roles. So that in itself will reduce stress in the house. And you bring people together that I enjoy going into work now because I know what I have to do. You know what you have to do. And look, if we find a problem, we'll talk about it.
I think there's many different ways to run a company, and there's many different books out there, and there's many different systems. Why would you say people should consider EOS for running their business over another method?
I won't speak of other methods. All systems are good. What I'm seeing the most is people don't have any system. And that's the biggest thing that's holding them back. So I love EOS. There's so much in EOS that I am aligned with. Core values, core purpose. Like why if we go into, well, what's the purpose of our farm? What's the purpose of our business? What are we doing? Oh, we have 75 people and we're doing this. Okay, well, all 75 people eat every day, so therefore let's open a restaurant next door. Going, that doesn't make sense. Our core purpose is to keep 75 people in business, not open a restaurant next door. So defining of that, it brings so much clarity to a team to going, okay, all right, well, actually, we do have the equivalent of a restaurant and it's a sideline and it's something we need to get rid of. And that's one of the very clear things that happens in EOS a lot. When you start going through those days, you realize, actually, lads, we're doing things here that we shouldn't be doing.
As I say, you are a countryman, we'll call you. A countryman. You mightn't have gotten the farms. My hands are gone very soft now as well too. My hard working days in the farm is gone. But like, what would you recommend for if somebody is looking at this video and they're saying, well, you know what, I'm in that hole of my business is growing. I need structure. My business is growing. I have more employees. We were a family farm a while ago. Now we've got
a business.
We've got 5 members of the family in there and 10 employees. There's 15 of us here. We're crossing all that. Where should someone start? What should they do?
So there's multiple ways into this. If you want to read a book, so there's read the book Traction.
There's podcasts.
There's podcasts all over the place. There is official EOS podcasts and there is complementary external ones as well. There is the book Get a Grip, which is the story of how it was implemented in an IT company. All of them is available in audio on whatever platform you want or in printed. There is them is the 2 starting points.
Sure.
There is a book called What the Heck is EOS? And it's intended for when you're passing it out to your team down here. It's a small book, it's a quick book, it's not detailed. If you're a visionary or an integrator, if you're at that level, Traction or Get a Grip, and essentially they're the same material. They're told, one is the technical, one is the story. Speak to an implementer like myself. I'm based in Ireland, but there is 911 implementers globally. This is not a new system. This system is on the go over, this proven process is on the go over 20 years. There is 30,500 and more companies running on EOS, and there's over 250,000 and more session days delivered with teams across the world. So this is proven. This is not Willie's idea. This is proven.
And generally those implementers, let's not visionary and integrators within the company.
Yeah.
Implementer is a consultant that comes in, and you say there's, what you say, 900 around the world?
911 as of this week or something.
And like in my job in Creva every day, where we supply products, and then our sister company AgriVista, which is more of a services and design and layout of farms, we're dealing with very large farms, and like, you know, I would be advising them from the start, just go with EOS.
You will have faster acceleration and implementation of this in your business, and you have the wisdom of an implementer. Traditionally, somebody who has experienced in business, has had their own business, has hired and fired, and then gone through the onboarding process to EOS. And that's intensive. So
because I'm this guy here, I'm the 10 ideas, I'm good with relations and all that.
Yeah.
I'm not good with management.
Yeah.
You know, and to have someone to translate here and here down to this is so important.
Yeah.
But this is a tough job too.
It's a tough
the
job.
integrator is a tough job, and he needs to be the right kind of person as well for that. Yeah. So, but an implementer can come in and help with all that structure. And I think there's, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's even recruitment agencies and stuff like that that know the type of people that are a good integrator, and they can help you find someone that is an integrator. Yeah.
So it's very interesting. It is a journey.
Yeah.
Those first 3 days are intense. There's a lot of homework. But the entire process is 2 years. Mm-hmm. Some people maintain an implementer forever. Some people maintain an implementer for 1 year. Okay? Sure. And it's whatever works for those people. But it does take commitment, it takes homework, but it's about bringing clarity to the business and allowing the business owner, the visionary and integrator, to get what they want out of the business.
Sure.
And some visionaries are going, I want to work a 3-day week. Some of them are going, I just want to bring clarity to this whole thing. Or some of them are an age where they're going, I need an exit plan, I want to hand over to the next generation. Yeah,
I deal with one company in this, the visionary integrator dynamic is a husband and wife.
Yeah.
And now it's actually become a son and daughter.
Yes.
But they're handing over, they say, well, you're taking on the visionary role, you're taking on the integrator role. And they've just kind of passed it on. So it's helped with the handing over structure.
It's massive. And that's a common thing across many farms situations where, when do we let go?
Yeah, because, you know, parents and kids never fight in a farm, do they?
Never
happens. There's never any of this kind of
definitely
friction.
Not an Irish thing.
Well, I'll never forget, I was working on the farm in Holland, and the father and son was there, and they were chatting, and I was just standing there like, there's the next thing, in Dutch language, it was getting a bit louder, and there's, sorry, there's a fight going on here. I was like, okay, this happens in Holland too, it just doesn't happen in Ireland, you know? Yeah.
Well, Willie, and that's about energy. It's about knowing who is responsible for what and agreeing it.
Willie, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
And thanks for all your help in Creva.
You're very welcome, and I'm glad to be working with you, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Cheers, everyone.